off to free throw to extra innings. Your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South sports station.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Tuesday. Bryant, Brett with you, Johnny producing as always, and we're finally to that day. A lot of basketball throughout today, throughout the evening. Tomorrow's really when it'll kick up even more, but we've already got a couple games in the books, couple games at halftime wrapping up now, and it will just continue to go throughout the evening and into the night when we crown a handful of champions tonight, but really the big one late night, St. Mary's and Gonzaga for the WCC, highly anticipated game later tonight. But it's a lot of fun out there. Tigers will know who they play tomorrow night after Wichita State and Rice play, so we'll have a little more clarity on what Thursday will look like. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well, and you're right. It started early this morning. It ends late tonight with Idaho State against Montana. That's right. The Grizzlies of Montana.
That's right.
Grizzlies have a couple of games tonight. Do the Oakland Grizzlies play tonight? The Oakland Grizzlies play tonight as well.
Wow, how about that?
So we got the Grizzlies at FedEx Forum tonight against the Virginia Wizards. That's a very winnable game.
It is a very
against
winnable
the Virginia
game.
Wizards.
Yes, it is, and I saw that line opened up as the Grizzlies a 3.5-point favorite. It's now moved to the Wizards a 2.5-point favorite. So it'll be interesting tonight. But, you know, I've been asking everybody, does anybody want to win that game tonight? It seems like both teams, everybody, fan bases, team, players, coaches, seems like everybody for both those teams want to lose tonight.
What a feeling.
How about that?
What a great feeling to go out to competition that nobody wants to win. I'm going to change. I'm going to change to the Northern Virginia Wizards.
I like it.
Is that okay? Easier to say, too. I don't know why. Yes. Another word, but easier to say.
I don't know. Northern Virginia Wizards. I like it. We'll stamp that. That's what we're calling them from now on the show.
Their arena being used for the ACC tournament. That's not exactly Tobacco Road, is it?
No.
That's Swamp Road.
It is. No, it is. It's interesting spot for it, but hey, I guess, why not?
I guess so, and looks like the AAC is set for a long run at Dickies. We know that it's going to be a long time before it's back in Memphis. The SEC is set in Nashville, far as I can see.
Yeah, and so I mean, it seems like these.
Why wouldn't you?
Nah,
it accommodates your two biggest fan bases, Kentucky and Tennessee.
Absolutely, and so it's perfect for those schools. It's not too much farther for anybody. I mean, Florida's the furthest from Nashville. So, no, I like
A&M would have a word.
A&M, that's a good point. I didn't think about them.
It's a long way to A&M for anywhere.
I was about to say, I mean, some spots in Texas, it's a really far away from A&M. But, no, I mean, I like Nashville for the SEC tournament. I wish Memphis could get the AAC tournament back, but you're right. These conferences, they find a place, and usually if it works for them, they like to stick around there, and it seems like the AAC has found that with Fort Worth.
Damon Stoudemire's Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech fought all the way back to take a 1-point lead, now tied 78-78 in D.C. against Notre Dame. They were down 17, came all the way back. Got up. Now they're down 1 to Notre Dame. About 3.5 minutes left there, and plenty of finals. Nothing that would impact Memphis or bubble or really anything this afternoon, unless UCF got on a roll. They were already a winner today. They're 17-14. They're not even as good as the Big 12 is. I don't think they get on unless they win the automatic. They don't get on. They get on that kind of roll. They defeated Oklahoma State 77-62. Oklahoma State falls to 12-20. And I think by the end of the week, you could hear a coaching announcement there.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, it feels like it's been close there. I mean, it seemed like when, 4 or 5 years ago when you got the commitment from Cade Cunningham, and that felt like, okay, this is really when it gets going. And then you had the NCAA investigation, the postseason ban, and really since then, I mean, there have been points where you've thought, okay, maybe they'll turn it around, but they just have not been able to turn it around. And I was watching that game earlier, and I thought the same thing. I think soon we'll probably get an announcement about a position there being open.
The Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, and at halftime in Kansas City, West Virginia leads Cincinnati 38-36. Atlantic 10 tournament going on, LaSalle leading George Washington 45-43 in first half action there. Not many finals, a lot of afternoon tips, and even more at night. And you're right, as good as today's schedule is, tomorrow gets even better. I was wrong last night when I called San Francisco straight up. They just can't handle Gonzaga.
Well, and
Gonzaga led that whole game, and it's Mark Few's time of year.
It is. Well, and it felt oddly similar to the St. Mary's Gonzaga game from a couple weeks ago, because in that game St. Mary's came out, looked really good in the first half, and then second half it was all Gonzaga. That's really what happened last night against San Francisco. San Francisco comes out, really throws the first punch, and controlled early in the first half until kind of late there, the last couple of minutes of the half. But then second half, Gonzaga comes out and looks like an entirely different team. And it just seems like this Gonzaga team, I don't know what kind of a run they'll be able to go on in the NCAA tournament, because you're going to face a lot of guys that have that same size as you. They've got the athletes like you do. But when you're talking about a team like San Francisco, even though I really do like that San Francisco team, they're just too much to handle.
I don't think they're getting in. And both of these teams tonight in that WCC final, they both are in, no matter what, 25-6 Gonzaga and 25-7 St. Mary's. Joe Lunardi still carrying the flag for the University of Memphis as the Tigers as the eighth alternate, first in, and then next four, down all the way to 8. It still takes a lot of things to happen.
Sure.
I still think the easiest route is also the hardest route.
Yeah, well, and I think if you're going to have somebody in your corner, I mean, Joe Lunardi's a pretty good
it's a big voice
one to have. I mean, when you have all these games on ESPN, and it seems like this is the time where every single game that is on a ESPN network has some sort of live shot of Joe Lunardi coming on.
Got to think the committee room's got it plugged in, don't you?
Absolutely. And so, he throws up his graphic, and you always see Memphis right there hanging
Who's
around.
got the ESPN login?
That's right. Every time, Brett. Every single time. But no, it's going to be tough for the Tigers. 4 games in 4 days is difficult, but they certainly have the talent to do it.
I can't remember the password. I think it's March Madness in the committee room.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, why not? It seems like that'd be easy to hack into if you
it
made
really does.
Something that simple, but wouldn't put it past them.
Okay, change it to one shining moment.
Right,
see if that'll work.
That's right. One shining moment, one exclamation point. Yeah.
One
like
shining moment, 24.
That's right. Oh, yeah. And next year we'll change it to 25. We'll just, they'll never catch on. No. But
put in Jim Nance. See if that's it.
Yeah. Oh, man. It could come up with some good ones, Brett. You come up with some good passwords. But no, today's been a lot of fun. But like you said, I mean, today is really with a lot of these conferences, they'll, the 2 first-round games, and then tomorrow is really when we have 4 games for each of these conferences, and it's really going to be mayhem tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be, and you're right, the Tigers will find out tomorrow night who their opponent will be. And last night, Coach Penny Hardaway, with a lot of comments to the media gathered for his, I think, the final coaching show of the year, and he had comments last night that I don't think were constructive, but I guess I know I don't think he would have said it if he didn't believe it, and I think probably most listening to us now have heard. If you hadn't, he said he thought he was doing a great job. I wish the comments last night would have been, here's the job I've done. I've worked as hard as I know how. I want to win every time we play. I think we should be winning more, and I'm going to do everything I can to change that over the next 4 or 5 days or into next year. I wish it would have been more of that and less of, I don't think y'all appreciate me enough.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. I mean, I just thought, it was just weird. It was asked about this all came about because of some Instagram posts he made a couple nights ago.
That precipitated the question.
And that's what, he was asked about, what was there anything behind those posts on social media? And he said something like, I just think it's funny. There are a lot of people out there that want me fired. And, then went on to say, I think I've done a great job here. And, I think Penny's done a fine job. He's done an okay job. But when you have gone into a season like this and we're getting ready for the conference tournament, and you are outside of the double byes, you're sitting in 5th place of a conference that I don't think before the season started anybody thought you would be anything lower than 2. I just thought a bad time to say something like that. Now, if they went on a run, won the conference, and
he can shut up everybody.
Got to the second round, then you make those comments. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And an easier way to shut everybody up is not lose at home to Rice, and not give up a 20-point home lead to South Florida, and not have the annual struggle at Avern Fogelman Cameron Indoor Arena.
That's right. And
at Tulane.
Yeah. So it was. I thought it was weird. But I guess I wasn't surprised. I guess at the same time.
And he used a direct quote. All these are direct quotes from him that he laughs at the city about the expectations. I wouldn't be laughing at my paying customers.
Well, I wouldn't do that, but also he set the expectations. I mean, he was the one that came in day one and said all the smoke, we're going to win national championships and all of that. I mean, those were the expectations that were not set before him. Nobody during the late I was going to say just Tubby years, but even going back to Josh Pastner years, had those type of expectations. He came in, set those expectations, and so that's where that has come from. That is not just something from the fan base. That is partly on him, I think.
Another thing he is stuck on is almost with that indignation of y'all don't appreciate me enough, is I took this job over at its lowest point.
Yeah.
It was not great. It was not great, but it was nowhere near the lowest point of Tiger basketball. You could argue Tubby took it over in tougher shape from Josh. If you don't want to make that argument, there's game, set, and match, no doubt. John Calipari took over a tougher spot, taking over from Tick Price vis-a-vis Johnny Jones.
Yeah, no, I mean, there were way lower points. I mean,
and never mind Dana taking over from Wayne Yates.
Yeah, I mean, when Penny Hardaway...
And Penny knows this basketball history. He knows every one of those references. Every single one better than anyone. And to talk like he took over a 12-19 team.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Tubby Smith's final year, the year before Penny Hardaway, they played in the conference semifinals against Cincinnati and led for most of that game before, I think, losing by 10 points maybe. Cincinnati, big second half. So, I mean, this is a team that won a couple of games in the tournament before, so this was not a dead last in the conference, couldn't buy a win in conference play, kind of like Louisville is right now. I mean, this was was not a bad team. It was certainly down. It was certainly not in a great place.
Wasn't drawing anybody.
Was not drawing anybody. It was certainly not in a good place by any means, but it was definitely not the worst it's ever been or a generational low. It was
and Josh leaving it to Tubby. That's where the scan count came from.
Yeah.
Is at the end of Josh, mostly leaked by then University of Memphis administrators to embarrass him. To build a groundswell to maybe get him out of town, but the contract was so prohibitive until finally Mike Bobinski from Georgia Tech called and prayers were answered and he was shipped off to them. I mean, and that was just really good fortune to be able to offload him to Georgia Tech.
Yes.
But this is 2 out of the last 3 coaches that had never been a college head coach. That's hard to do.
Very hard. Extremely hard, and you've seen that. I mean, you've seen Coach Hardaway, struggle at times with coaching. I think in terms of building a roster, you have seen that. At first, comes in and wants to go all freshmen, all, top stars, and then realizes that doesn't work.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Potential lottery picks.
Exactly. And then realizes that's not working. We've got to go older.
Let's go old.
And then go so old that you bring guys in, they're only here for 1 year, and you have to repeat that roster. And
a lot of them, not all of them, but some of them, not a lot, not even a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were just somebody else's problem.
Sure. Absolutely. And so I think, he's still going through the learning of how to be a Division I college basketball coach. And makes sense. I mean,
well, Brian, then you just either wittingly or unwittingly made the case that the experience thing, I said 2 out of the last 3 coaches never. So how much do you really need with this new paradigm, with this new You throw something together every year now. Do you really need to be that 15-year warhorse?
Well, I think it certainly benefits because I think you kind of understand a little bit, even though the game's changed so much, you understand a little bit what works, what doesn't work. You kind of have that system in place for yourself. I think Penny Hardaway's still trying to learn that, and I think you can see that right now with kind of what he has. You look at these last 2 teams, and we go into the season and talk about look how deep this team is. Look at all the weapons they have. And it feels like at the end of the season, you look up and it's 2 or 3 guys that you're really only being able to rely on. And I think when you've got a coach with more experience, they're able to kind of figure that out more along the way. I think that's the biggest thing Coach Hardaway struggles with right now is just kind of building the full, complete roster.
Notre Dame goes final 84-80 over Georgia Tech. Damon Stoudemire's team's eliminated in his first year at Tech. Notre Dame moves on in the AAC tournament. Mm-hmm. I would like to ask this of our listeners today. I want the word that you would describe the 6 years of Coach Penny Hardaway at 901-360-8255 at the Sissy's Log Cabin text line. I would love to hear, do you think it's been great? Do you think it's been good? It has not been pathetic.
No.
It has not been horrible. But if you think it has been, I would like to hear from you.
Sure.
I don't think many would agree that it's been great. It has been utterly good, I guess. Maybe good.
Yeah, maybe. I would say it's been good. There've certainly been highs. There've certainly been, I wouldn't say lows, but,
And that goes with the years rolling by.
Sure.
But we're approaching the end of the 6th and barring, something, I don't know, miraculous, but something really historic.
Yep.
Certainly would be historic.
Certainly historic.
We're going to end 6 years with 1 NCAA tournament win.
Yeah. So send those texts.
That ain't great.
Very curious. No, not great at all. But definitely some interesting comments from Penny Hardaway last night. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers. He's going to join us to talk about this Tiger team as they get ready down in Texas for the 4 games in 4 days is what we are all hoping for. But it'll start Thursday. We'll find out tomorrow who that opponent will be in their first game on Thursday. 3:45. We're going to make our picks for the American Athletic Conference tournament. We'll break out the bracket and make our picks and see who's cutting down the net on Sunday with an AAC
I'm calling for
championship.
history.
All right. I love it. I would love for that to happen. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard, he's going to join us from First Coast News in Jacksonville, talk some college football and college basketball. Obviously, ton to talk about in college basketball with conference tournaments, everything going Selection Sunday on Sunday. But don't forget, college football, it continues to roll on. Spring practice is upon us for a ton of teams.
Nick Saban in D.C. in front of congressional panels.
It shocks me.
Instantly raised the IQ of that bunch by about 100 points.
Sure did. And I think the last 2 or 3 days, you've had Tim Tebow and Nick Saban, so interesting group up in D.C., but certainly a lot of college football to talk about as well at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we did we're going to do the AAC at 3:45. 4:30, we get to the SEC tournament bracket, make our picks for what will happen this week in Nashville.
You got Vandy, don't you?
Well, Brad, I don't want to give out my picks too
I'm
early,
sorry.
But, if we're going over under 0.5 wins, I may or may not be going over. I don't know. So we'll break those out at 4:30 and make our picks. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Beau Marchant will join us to talk the NFL after an extremely busy last 2 days. Free agency trades
Banks
in
open.
the NFL. I mean, tell me about it. I mean, it's always this time of year where it would sure be nice to be an NFL player. You know, that bank account certainly looks good, and that's always highlighted during free agency. So a lot of free agents talk about, a lot of trades to get to with Beau Marchant at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, where we'll likely update on a lot of these tournament games that are going on right now, games that are starting later. And then at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Get over to Family Leisure. They've got factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Get by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it, so buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
This is Sports Time. We're with you until 6 o'clock, produced by Johnny Hill. Brett and Bryant with you, and we want you to be a part of it at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text, phone, and guest line. We want you to hit us up there. Tell us one word to describe the Coach Penny Hardaway years that he described last night as great. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all the 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day has got to be these conference tournaments that are kicking off today. We've got the big boy tournaments kicked off. First round action, only a couple of games for each of these tournaments. But it is interesting, you know, you kind of look up, and tomorrow is really when you'll have a lot more of the marquee teams playing. You know, how many people really cared about Notre Dame and who'd they be? Georgia Tech when they woke up this morning. Probably not a ton, but it's day basketball, and who can complain with that? We got two games going on right now, Cincinnati and West Virginia. Cincinnati entered this game as a 9.5-point favorite, got up real early, double digits in the first couple of minutes of the game. It looked like they might roll in this one, but now West Virginia, a 52-42 lead over Cincinnati. And when you look at this West Virginia team, it's very interesting. You know, going into the season, we thought sky is the limit for this group. Everybody was saying they are no doubt a tournament team. They were graded as the best team in the transfer portal over the season with all of the guys they brought in. But we know what happened kind of behind the scenes at West Virginia. Bob Huggins out before the season started. Some guys transfer out because of that. They've had an interim head coach all season. And 9-22 on the season. It's just been an awful year all around, but a first-round win in the conference tournament would certainly be big for them. But we've also got some conference championships later tonight. We've talked about a couple of them, but the big one later tonight, Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Right now, Gonzaga a 3.5-point favorite over St. Mary's, but a tale unlike any other. I mean, it's always comes down in that conference to St. Mary's and Gonzaga.
It sure does. My top story, Coach Penny Hardaway says he's done a great job and that the standard of the program has gone way up since he's been the head coach. The empty seats in the record book in the advancement of the NCAA tournament says something quite the opposite. Now he says he laughed at the city. He's laughed at the city over the expectations. That means you're officially into it with your own fans that are rightfully aggravated, and that never ends well.
No, it definitely does not.
not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's got to be the Grizzlies. They're back in action tonight against the Wizards in a who wants to win this game matchup. The Wizards enter with an 11-53 record, but Brett, they've won 2 in a row. They're hot. While the Grizzlies on the other side, 22-43 on the year, and I get yelled at every time I come in after a win, excited by Johnny, because we want them to lose. So who really wants it tonight at home for the Grizzlies?
Nobody.
Brett, we've talked about...
Who's got it worse than us? Nobody.
Who's got it better than us? Well, a lot of teams this year in the NBA. Everybody. But for the Grizzlies, this is a great opportunity. Brett, we talked about it last week, a couple weeks ago, when they won those 2 road games against Brooklyn, against the 76ers. We talked about it. Why can't they win at home in front of their fans? Tonight could be that opportunity. They opened as a 3.5-point favorite. Now Washington, a 2.5-point favorite. But it could be a good game. I think tonight we will know if they are really trying to win or trying to lose, because I think this is a game that they have a very good opportunity to win. Now, the last time I said that, let's not forget, last time I said that, they got beat by like 30 at home by the Nets.
A real chance for a 2-game home winning streak with Charlotte coming in tomorrow night.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Well, we shall see.
My not top story, Coach Penny Hardaway, if he wants to silence critics, it's really simple. Win 4 games in 4 days in Fort Worth. Win 2 next week, and he gets to have the loudest last laugh in the history of loud last laughs. If he pulled that off, he could tell everybody to stick it.
Sure.
You weren't patient enough. But people are plenty angry over 6 years of not nothing, but of very little. Mm-hmm. Penny gets very pleased, I'm afraid, with very little. Winning the NIT. Mm-hmm. The conference tournament last year was more than a little. Sure. They were already in the tournament. Mm-hmm. That's about it. They lose 2 regularly to Tulane, lost this year at Rice, got beat once at Tulsa by 40, and blew a 20-point lead to USF. People know all that. People, it's also almost like Penny's operating in a vacuum that people don't know the record.
Yeah, it seems like it, but
we're not in that post being hired honeymoon 0-0 period where people were fixated on his shoe game and his airplane game and his suit game and him speaking to the touchdown club. The touchdown club, which was stupid at the time and even more stupid now.
Yeah, but hey, like you said, opportunity to shut them up this week down in Texas. Just take care of business, and the city will be singing a different tune, certainly, on Monday after the brackets reveal. But that's a lot of work for sure. Well, that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break, and when we come back, we're talking Tigers with Dave Woloshin.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, little sis, did you get your W-2 yet?
Yes, I did.
Well, you know last year when I told you to file early to get your refund quick?
Yes, I remember.
Well, go ahead and call now, and you can get your refund fast.
Thanks. That's why I love you. Always looking out for your little sis.
To get your taxes filed quick and get your refund fast, go to Brenton Tax Service, located in Midtown Memphis on Madison Avenue. We may not be related to you, but at Brenton Tax Service, we protect you like family.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We gossip $289 a month, both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month, $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 3985, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49,9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-364-1031 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-364-1031. That's 800-364-1031. What do you have to lose? Call 800-364-1031. Again, 800-364-1031.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Strike.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring. Every step covered.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 3985, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49,9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only. Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 mpg highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls out here the last few minutes, traffic's actually still moving fairly decent on all the major outbound routes. Traffic's been a little bit lighter than normal the last couple of days being spring break. Traffic's still moving right now, 55 south of town as you continue down into South Haven, all the way into DeSoto County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's got to be Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Let's welcome longtime voice of the Tigers and host of Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Dave Woloshin to talk Tigers football and basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Dave Woloshin joins us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line to talk some Tigers down in Texas for the AAC Conference Tournament. Tigers' first game will be Thursday. We'll find out tomorrow who they'll be playing in that first game, the winner of Rice and Wichita State. But before we talk about this week's tournament, Dave, I want to go back to the game on Saturday against Florida Atlantic. On the road, a packed gym for that one against FAU. And I didn't think the Tigers played bad. I thought, missed some opportunities for sure. I thought FAU got hot at times, maybe a defensive lapse at times in that second half, but it wasn't their worst game. What was your biggest takeaway from that loss on Saturday against FAU?
Well, I think offensively they were terrific. And they made 16 threes in the game, and they clicked. They had 84 points. They ended up with a positive ratio, even though in the beginning it did not look good. Quinterly ended up playing decently the last 10 to 12 minutes of the game. So there were some positives to take away. Defensively, that's another question, and they're going to have to play much better defense, particularly, in my opinion, in the half court if they're going to win 4 games in 4 days. And they're going to have to show you that they have the will to do that. That's hard. And I frankly don't know if this team wants to keep playing because they've had chances over this year to pull away and make things much easier for themselves, and they haven't quite done that. So we'll wait and we'll see. It's there. If you look at the odds makers in Vegas, they made them the number 2 team overall here in Fort Worth to win this tournament. So they got them really playing FAU in the championship. They're the overall favorite. But Memphis is going to have to play with intensity, with better defense, about the same way they played in Boca on Saturday offensively, and they can do it. But they got to want it, and that, to me, is the bottom line.
Dave, if the Tigers were to win the 4 in 4 days and punch that automatic, regardless if they had to go to Dayton or wherever they got potted to, would it be the high point of the Penny Hardaway 6 years?
Well, there have been so many high points. I mean, they knocked off Houston just a year ago. They won the conference championship against that team, against all odds. They beat them when they were number 1 in the country. There have been a lot of good moments in the Penny Hardaway era. He did take him in the last 2 years to the NCAA, but I obviously that would be a high. I don't know that I would put it as the ultimate moment in Penny Hardaway's coaching career or in this era, these 6 years, but certainly because of the adversity overcome and doing something that Memphis has never had to do. It's not like they couldn't do it. They've never been in a situation, I don't think, where they had to win a 4th game to win a tournament. I've only seen it once happen, and that was in Conference USA. I believe it was either in Tulsa or Oklahoma. It must have been in Tulsa, where Houston won 4 straight games. They were a terrible regular season team, and they won 4 straight games, including beating Memphis in the first round. But it's not often that you see a team win 4 straight in a conference tournament to advance.
I thought St. Louis U did it in 2000 at the Pyramid the year Kenyon Martin broke his leg.
Well, you know what?
Or was that just 3 games?
That's a great question. You have to go back and look at the amount of teams that were in the league.
Yeah, I think it was 4 because that same weekend, Arkansas did 4 games in 4 days in Atlanta, and I had spent Wednesday at the Pyramid and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Atlanta. I asked that question about would this be the biggest achievement, Dave, because last night Coach Hardaway said that he thinks he has done a great job. So regardless of this weekend, what is the apex? What do you think is the highest point of what he thinks has been a great job done?
Well, I think what he was referring to, and you really have to ask him personally what that was. My perception is that he's basically saying, when I came in, this team was floundering. This whole program was going nowhere. They hadn't been to the NCAA tournament. They hadn't sniffed the NCAA tournament. And every year he's brought excitement, and whether they made the tournament or not, they did see attendance get a whole lot better. He's brought in really exciting players. Whether they have achieved the ultimate that he would have liked them to, that's another question. But certainly the excitement level came back. The quality of basketball, I think, definitely has gone up. And, they were number 10 in the country a couple of weeks ago when he took them over. They were far from number 10 in the country.
Yeah, and he said last night, he went on and said that he thought when he got the job, Tiger basketball was at its lowest point ever. You've been around for a lot of highs and lows. Do you think it was the lowest point ever that he took over?
No, but it might be the lowest point since I've been in Memphis. But I know people go back to Mo Iba's years and complain about the way they played, the style, and everything else that was just absolutely awful. So I would say in the history of the program, that's not right.
And even what Tick Price left for John.
Well, that was pretty low. Because of the scandal that was involved in all of that. But you know what? Johnny Jones did a good job of trying to make the team as competitive as possible. And I do remember you still went and you played in Maui, and they represented the school pretty nicely. I thought that could have been disaster, and it was better than it could have been. It was a low point, but that's a good point that you bring up. I had forgotten about that little era. But then we had Cal, and everything was going along. And honestly, Josh did a lot of good things too that I think people sort of underappreciated some of the things he did because we are so focused, and I can see the point, but we're so focused on the end result, which is wins in the NCAA, getting to the second weekend like John did on a regular basis. And that is a hard thing to accomplish because only 16 teams get to the second weekend every year. But that is sort of what we base things on. And so Penny hasn't gotten to that point.
Dave, I am sincerely asking you this. I really am. I'm not trying to poke. I'm not trying to prod. Is that goal, that second weekend goal that it was unanimous around town for this year, is that now too lofty for this program?
No, I don't think it's too lofty for the program, but it may be too lofty for this team. So, look, you got to look at all that's occurred. So when this program was thinking it was a Sweet 16 second weekend team, it had several pieces that are no longer either with the team or are an effective member of the team. So, you lose a guard that was a preseason conference player of the year in another league when the league was even better than this one. You lose a center, for whatever reason, who was a Henson Award winner a year ago, that has not really produced. I hate to say it. He might have produced early against poor competition. He went away for a few weeks. He's never been the same player. I don't know if it's his back. I don't know what it is. That's 40% of your starting lineup that's no longer around. And, Caleb Mills and Jordan Brown, those were part of the reason why you were considered a second weekend kind of a team. Now let me throw in Malcolm Dandridge. And Malcolm Dandridge's lack of a presence, whether he brings this upon himself or not, is still a part of the rotation that you thought could get you to the second weekend, and that's not a part of the mix. One thing I will add that you didn't have when that was being talked about, that took a long time to get to, but now is a great player, and I think he is a great player, and that's Naquan Tomlin. So that's the one plus you weren't expecting, but all the others, that hurt your cause. So to say, I think when you first thought they were a second weekend team, that was fair. To say that's too lofty now is also fair.
Talking to Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers. He joins us every single Tuesday to talk the Tigers. You can listen to him every morning with Wolo and Friends from 10 to 11. Tomorrow, Rice and Wichita State, they'll face off at noon in the first-round game. Winner will play the Tigers on Thursday. What matchup do you like better for the Tigers on Thursday? A game against Rice that came to Memphis and beat them, or a game against Wichita State that they've already seen twice this year and beat them both times?
Well, they say it's hard to beat a team three times. Yeah. The way they beat Wichita State at Wichita was pretty impressive, and I'm sure the team remembers that. I don't really think it matters. I think Memphis, if they play to the expectation that we do, if they play like the team that played the second half against UAB, if they play like the team that played on the road against East Carolina, I don't think it matters which team they play. They'll beat either Rice or Wichita State either way if they play to the level that they could play. That to me is for sure. The UAB game, now that's very interesting if they do get to that game, because Memphis lost to a team that's got a really good player in the middle in Lindebaum, and they haven't been effective inside since Malcolm has gone away. But they did come back without Malcolm in that UAB game at home, down 22 to go up 21. So, that game to me is up for grabs. I like Memphis' chances in that one. Those are the two that are right in front of you. Who knows what happens after that? Because I think there could be easily some upsets along the way. I don't know if USF will get to the next third level if Memphis does get to that level either, because they've got some teams in the way that can beat them. They've been very fortunate to get as far as they did, and don't forget Tulsa beat them in the last regular season game.
Mm-hmm. Dave, I look at this bracket, and we're getting ready to all go through every game and pick the bracket, and I don't see one team I'm scared of. I think this league is very average, and I think the Tigers still have very good parts and can get on a roll and win it. I don't look out there and see I don't see Phi Slamma Jamma. I don't see Louisville. I don't see Pat Cummings. I don't see Kenyon Martin. I don't see Tom Kleinschmidt.
Tom Kleinschmidt. Oh, man. Tom Kleinschmidt. First year that CUSA, I remember getting into it with, I think he spit at a player, actually. In Chicago, this occurred in his hometown. That's a name I hadn't thought about in years. Now,
I'm trying to make you laugh, buddy.
When you mentioned that St. Louis run, man, that's the first thing I think about is Kenyon Martin in that shocked, staring
on Thursday morning,
vacant glimpse against the basketball stanchion when he knew he was done for the year. And I'll never.
He knew I'm wrecked.
On Bob Huggins' face either when that all occurred. That was pretty amazing stuff. No, I'm with you. I wouldn't be shocked if SMU came out on the other side too. I mean, that's a team.
I agree. They've got the best net.
Yeah. Well, it's third now, isn't it? Behind. It's definitely behind FAU. I think
that's right. It is behind FAU. That's correct.
Right. Yeah. So they're a team that's got a bunch of athletes, and Memphis got them at home. But look what they did to the Tigers in Moody. Last time Memphis played in Moody will be one you want to forget. I can promise you that if you're a Tiger fan.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's going to be a interesting week as the Tigers get things kicked off on Thursday. Dave, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy Texas this week, and hopefully it's a long trip for you.
I'm hoping not to leave till Sunday, late afternoon. That would be the best thing that could happen. And, one thing you guys got to check for this on me because I'm not really sure. I think if you win your conference tournament championship, you do not get sent to Dayton.
That's a good question. I'm not positive on that.
I'm not either. I'm not either.
I think that's an AQ that fails in a tournament that gets sent there, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
I would love that.
I have packed to go if I have to.
I hope we have that issue.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you tomorrow, Brett.
You got it. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Dave Woloshin, the voice of the Tigers. He joins us every Tuesday, talk Tiger football and Tiger basketball. Well, we need to get to a break, and when we come back, we talked a little bit about the AAC tournament. We're going to make our picks on the other side from tomorrow's games all the way to Sunday. We're picking the AAC conference tournament next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Hi, this is Lauren Choate. As we welcome clearer skies and brighter days, it's the perfect time to clear up something else, your home's air quality. Right now, for a limited time only, get a free dryer vent cleaning with every air duct cleaning service. Did you know that cleaning your air ducts can not only improve your home's air quality, but also increase your HVAC system's efficiency? Well, it's not just about efficiency. It's about safety and reducing the risk of dryer fires significantly. With Choate's expert technicians, you can rest assured that your air ducts and dryer vent will be cleaned thoroughly, leaving your home safer in your air pressure. All it takes to breathe easier and save, just one call to Choate's. But hurry, this offer won't last forever. Schedule your air duct cleaning service today. Give us a call at 347-8086 or visit us online, choateshvac.com. Choates, let our family serve your family.
I am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched?
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Benstorff Realtors. How funny that I received an email about a year and a half ago from a pilot who told me how corny my radio ads were. I told him I agreed. After following up for almost a year, I ended up selling his house. And this was the note I just received from him. Sheldon went far beyond what any agent should normally have to do to get your house sold. From the first contract falling through on the day of closing, to the utilities being shut off when we were living 1,500 miles away, to dealing with a very inexperienced buyer's agent. He handled it all and got our house sold for a great price. Sheldon has a special purpose in life, and it is getting your house bought or sold in a very professional manner. Thanks, Tim. So if you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, remember, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing, and we've got a close one in the Big 12 tournament as Cincinnati's come all the way back. They were trailing by 10. They were just tied. West Virginia just went back up, so a 2-point game with about 6.5 minutes left in the Big 12 tournament. Well, we need to go ahead and pick the AAC bracket. We've all got a bracket in front of us. Who would like to start?
You will.
Okay, all right. So do you want me to go all the way through, or how do we want to do this?
Let it rip all the way through.
All right, we'll start on Thursday. I have Wichita State beating Rice in that first one, so Wichita State would play the Tigers. On Thursday, I also have UTSA beating Temple in the second game tomorrow, so an upset there, 14-11. UTSA would advance to play SMU. On Thursday, I've got Tulsa beating East Carolina in the 9-8 game. I've got Memphis beating Wichita State in the what would be the 5-12. I have North Texas beating Tulane in the 7 7-10. And then I have SMU beating UTSA in the final game of the day. Friday, I've got South Florida beating Tulsa, so they get some revenge after that loss to end the regular season. I have UAB beating Memphis, so the Tigers would be out after their second game in the conference tournament. I have Florida Atlantic beating North Texas, and I have Charlotte beating SMU. On Saturday, for the semifinals, I have USF beating UAB to advance to the conference championship game. I have FAU beating Charlotte in the other semifinal game to set up a USF versus FAU, one first-year AAC team, and that first-year team wins it all. FAU is my conference champ.
Johnny?
Okay, on Wednesday, I got Rice beating Wichita State, and then I got UTSA beating Temple. Then on Thursday, when it's Tulsa versus East Carolina, I got East Carolina winning. And then again, Rice versus Memphis, I got that rematch, man. I got Memphis winning. And then when it comes to Tulane and North Texas, I got North Texas winning. Next game is Temple and SMU. I got SMU winning. Then on Friday, the qualifying round, I got South Florida beating East Carolina. East Carolina. Then after that, I got Memphis versus UAB. I got Memphis winning. And then along the line, North Texas versus Florida Atlantic. I got Florida Atlantic winning. SMU versus Charlotte. I don't got Charlotte winning. I got SMU winning. And then on the semifinals on Saturday, I got Memphis winning, beating South Florida. And then Florida Atlantic versus SMU. I got Florida Atlantic winning. And on that Sunday, I got the Memphis Tigers winning.
Way to go, Johnny. You keep your alumni association.
Yes, I am. I got to keep it, Brett.
Good cred.
I got to keep it, Brett.
Bryant does not. Bryant is totally in the penalty box.
I got to keep it.
I've got Rice over Wichita State and UTSA over Temple tomorrow. Then Tulsa loses to East Carolina. East Carolina advances. The Tigers beat Rice, and I hope it's by 40. North Texas beats Tulane, and it'll probably be by 40. SMU over UTSA. Then to Friday we go with South Florida advancing over ECU, the Tigers beating UAB, FAU over North Texas, and SMU over Charlotte. Dave is really strong on SMU, and I kind of agree. Saturday, Memphis over USF. Get up 20 instead of losing at this time, make it 30. I've got FAU over SMU, and Sunday's final. The Tigers, the automatic qualifier by being champions, beating FAU.
Yes, sir. I like it, Brett.
I'm glad you're optimistic.
I like it, Brett.
I'm glad you're optimistic. I hope you're all right. I hope on Monday we're talking about a conference champion. I wish I could be.
And if we are, all this other just goes away.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely. So we'll see. It's going to be.
Did the victor go the spoils?
Absolutely. 100%. So it's going to be interesting. All that action kicks off tomorrow. Rice and Wichita State at noon. So by the time we're on air tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll know who the Tigers are playing on Thursday. So we'll be able to break that down tomorrow afternoon. But we need to go ahead and wrap up our first hour and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk some college basketball, we'll talk some college football with Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 24,7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49,9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Best finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Memphis. Get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7 p.m. for Hoops for St. Jude night. Don't miss a night full of hoops, heart, and heroism presented by Gossett Motor Cars. Get ready for a star-studded show by securing your tickets at Grizzlies.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We're looking at this crash out here on 55 southbound, right at 240. So you got a lot of rubbernecking going on. It's affecting that traffic flow that's coming down out of Midtown right now. That's why it's been a little bit slow on 240 southbound there at Norris. Again, because of that crash, they're trying to clear on actually it's 55 right there at 240 as traffic increases out here on 240 getting on to 385 Billmore Parkway. Don't forget, it's still closed on 55 there on the bridge. I know that's taken some getting used to. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us from First Coast News down in Jacksonville to talk some college football and a little college basketball. He joins us, like all our guests do, on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. And at Nick Saban, he doesn't know how to do retirement. I mean, he has been busy since he stepped down today in D.C. Talking about college athletics. What was your takeaway from Nick Saban up in D.C. today?
Well, he made some interesting statements that football has changed from when he began, and it is nowhere near what it's been for the last 50 years during his career. Obviously off the field, on the field stuff remains similar. But I think that's a part of it, guys, is he wants to be involved, and I think he will as a change agent. I'm not sure exactly what identity that will take yet, but we saw some of that today. Still not sure Congress is the answer for NIL, and but if they could do a little bit of something, I would imagine that would help to give some guide rails. But I still think the conferences probably end up making a little more productive, maybe, decision on this. But no, he got out probably now, and looking at in hindsight at a good time. Coaches have got to deal with all these issues, and I think that today is just an example of what we will see with him being very involved in the future.
Yeah.
And Brent, I think he's got a lot of contribution, and I want it. I would just one of the brightest minds about the sport that's really ever been out there. Never mind the success. I think he is very in touch with how to make the sport better. But for any coach over a 50-year period, when does it not change radically? I know we've had more changes the last 3 years, maybe than in that other 47 before that. But the end of coaching, quite literally, at the end of Coach Bryant's career, from when he played, was you had a helmet on that you could fold up and put in your pocket. You had shoulder pads the size of hockey shoulder pads. Mm-hmm. They rode a train to the Rose Bowl. So at the end of everybody's career that's had that long-standing career, it's radically different at the end. I don't think that's unique to Nick Saban.
Well, it's not. But they ask him what was the reason that he got out, and that was one of the ones that he gave. I still think there was another one that they probably weren't that interested in, but he was struggling to get a staff together. Now, he could have got guys together because a lot of people would love to have a year or two on their resume for Alabama, but
that's a great point.
I think the biggest deal for that would be there were guys he wanted, and he couldn't get them because they told him, "Coach, we'd love to come and be on your staff, but we know you're only going to be there another year or two, and we'd like to get a 2 to 3 year guaranteed contract." And I do give him credit because he decided at that point that it was time to go. I think he could have stayed, but I don't think he wanted what we saw in Coach Bowden in his last 2 or 3 years. As it got a lot closer to say a 500 record than playing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Brent, that is really keen insight, because you and I were both there for that FSU Alabama regular season game in 2007. That was Coach Saban's first year at Tuscaloosa before he finally got kind of his touch on it. But that was some bad football, and I think you're right. I think he looked across there that day and thought, I don't want it to end like this for me.
No. And we always said, guys, that not only the record, but what would have been even more galling to him would have been having a recruiting class that would have been number 11 instead of number 1.
And last year, as we go forward, we will find out. I think he really had to drag back Kevin Steele to do that great job Kevin Steele did on the field for him last year.
Correct. He was, Brent, he was more, Saban was more involved in the defense and the team last year than he really wanted to be. Now, it gave him a sense of satisfaction that after the South Florida debacle, even though it was a win, that they were able to pick things up and carry on and be able to win the conference, get in the playoffs. But there's no question, he alluded to this, that took much more out of him than he thought it would.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he may have winked at Senator Tuberville and said, "I'm running against you"?
Tremendous. I think he's smart enough to know that he doesn't want to get involved with that part of it. That
he'd only beat him 80-20.
Yeah.
Well, he would, but I think he'd much rather do what he did today, to do some ESPN. Look, he would. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but and it would be a whole lot of money too. But can you imagine? And I know Coach Bowden did this after he retired. If he wanted to speak, his calendar would be full every day.
Oh yeah, easily, and you can make some good money doing that, I guess. But we learned last week, Brent, that Fox is going to start airing Friday night college football games on the traditional Fox station. They had been running, I think, WWE, SmackDown, or something like that. That didn't get renewed, and so they're going to do college football on Friday nights. What will this mean kind of going forward in this battle we've now seeing kind of play out between Fox and ESPN? If Fox starts running, big time, Big Ten games or big time, I think Big 12 was another conference that they said they would have games for. Would that push ESPN to try to do the same, run a Friday night game out there for the SEC?
Well, that really makes you wonder. The conferences listed are Big 10, Big 12, and Mountain West.
Yeah,
as a possibility. Guys, look, I love college football and basketball, and that basically is what I do every day. But I'll be honest with you, I struggle with this because of what it does to the high schools. I've covered the high schools in one form or fashion for years, and it's more now labor of love than it is getting paid for it. But that's my struggle with this. But at the same time, it ain't going away, and it's not going to get any less, is it?
Nope.
So no, this wasn't that surprising.
And Brent, I hear the administrators, I hear at the chancellor level, at the provost level, I hear them when they say what a disruption to campus life a Thursday, particularly a Thursday, but even a Friday night game that it is. But also know this, if they have to, they can shut down every street in town to roll the Brinks truck down through there with the money on it that they're bringing in.
Yeah. Hey, Brent, would it just be one truck, or how many trucks would it be?
Well, it could be an armada, and it could be a lot of street shut.
Yeah. Hey, when they're paying the bills at the end of the month and the end of the year, they're probably not complaining about the streets then, are they?
And you had Greg Byrne today, the athletics director at Alabama, who today lamented, complained, whined that football and basketball, tote the note, and everything else, really is a budget nightmare. Well, that's not anything we haven't ever known. That's nothing new.
No, Lord, absolutely not. I mean, look, there are some schools to where you've got some other successful sports like softball or gymnastics, but the reality of it is what he said today, Bryant, to back up what Brett is saying, my Lord, we've covered that since the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I mean, it is Now, I will say this. I did talk to a consultant friend about this today, and I'll be quick on this. And I said, look, what in reality is going to come of this? And to your point, and I thought this was interesting, he thought, and he's done some consulting for the PGA Tour and even the college football playoff. His point was he's wondering if, and again, we kind of ignore Title IX, and that's not going to be ignored. But what he was saying was he really does wonder if some of these other sports that we didn't mention when we just mentioned the ones that are carrying the freight, he said, I wonder if those sports maybe even go to a club level at some point. That doesn't mean it won't be important.
Well, that's full circle, because we can remember a time when, for the golf team, the sign-up sheet was on the bulletin board at the Union.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. And it was probably in crayon because they couldn't find a pencil or pen somewhere.
But Brett, I love telling Bryant, that was at the same time that we would go check our grades by our Social Security numbers all listed and plastered up there for everybody to see.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. And listen, we didn't think a thing of it back then, did we?
It never entered my mind to steal somebody's ID.
No, absolutely not. So, I mean, we wouldn't dare.
There was a couple of times I wanted to trade Social Security number placement with them.
Yeah. Can we swap the grades with this?
Yeah.
But yeah, but the reality is, and Brett, this is another thing Brett and I have seen, is what goes around comes around. We
really does.
You see stuff.
Past is prologue, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You see stuff that you would never think that would happen. That happens, and it's almost like a formation in football. When you sit down with coaches, they'll say, "Look, there's nothing new about that. We ran that back in the '60s.
The Wildcat was the wing tee."
Yeah, absolutely. When I was in high school and in the early part of college, so people who look at some of this stuff like, boy, who sat down and invented that? There is, as Solomon said, there is nothing new under the sun.
No. There's not. Just different folks doing it. And just imagine how good of a Wildcat quarterback Johnny Majors would be today.
Good night. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a great point when you think about that. But you've got guys like Majors and some of these other guys. Listen, they could have ran just about anything they wanted to. And listen, if Namath's knees would have been better at Alabama, he could have ran a wishbone probably.
Well, he was a great runner, 19 knee surgeries ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and the trouble is, a lot of those knee surgeries were all major when some of those may have been scoped.
No kidding.
And he wouldn't have had anywhere near the problems he did.
He was in a cast from his crotch to his ankle, and now they've got him walking on it in 12 hours.
Sure they do. Yeah, they want him out.
And Brent, to that whole conversation about how games change, Joe Namath's sophomore year at Alabama was still, that was the last year of two-way football. Gene Stallings was his defensive back coach, and there were times he would have to stay on the field as free safety.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really amazing.
I guarantee you next year in the SEC, Kalen DeBoer doesn't want Jalen Milroe back there at free safety.
No. He doesn't want him returning kicks either, does he?
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, we were talking to Brent Beard. He joins us every single Tuesday, talks some college football and college basketball from First Coast News in Jacksonville. We've got the ACC Conference Tournament going on right now. Louisville up early. They're up by a good amount, but now a 2-point lead for them over NC State. Later tonight, we've got Miami and Boston College. It's supposed to go off at 6. We'll probably go off about 6:30 or so if I had to to guess.
Oh, yeah.
But for Miami, a disappointing season for them after last year making it all the way to the Final Four. This year, only 15-16 on the season. What has stood out to you this year about Jim Larinaga's team and kind of this drop-off from last year?
And he says he's back.
Yeah.
I was going to point that out. That's what came out yesterday, that they are going to give him another year. I mean, they came out early with that, and decided that's what they wanted to do. And frankly, in all fairness, he probably deserved it. But the thing with him is the same thing that happened with Leonard Hamilton. And now Leonard's 75. I hope my stomach is that flat at 75 as his is. But the reality is, those guys ran through the cycle of talent, and the problem is, and look, I'm not trying to make this an age thing, but you guys understand when you get toward the end of your career, how much more do you want to spend in building it back up? And I think the reality for that is, they both probably know they've only got another year or two, and I've heard Hamilton probably will retire at the end of the year, but
that could be tomorrow.
It could be. Well, that's a great point. But Bryant, the reality for both those schools is I mean, the stars that they had have just gone on, and again, this is like Saban going on a few minutes ago at 72. The age thing catches up with them with players. We don't like to talk about that very often, but these guys are thinking now, if I go play for him, will I be there a year, and then he's going to retire.
That's right. And as you mentioned with Coach Saban, who's going to be is the same coach that recruited me, assistant coach, going to be there the whole time I'm there. Brent, I know the ACC it's very historic. I got a lot of respect for it, and I know they don't need any advice from me. But the tournament in Washington D.C. Now that's the end. After this year, I think some sanity returns to the ACC in 2025, 26. And 28, it will be in Charlotte. In 27 and 29 in Greensboro. That's where it should be.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Agree with that totally. And look, as many issues as they're having just walking down the street up there, that may be hurting them too. But no, as far as a basketball situation. This needs to be the last year up there. I think that's why Sankey and the group like Nashville as much as they do. Centrally located, pretty easy to get in and out of, at least somewhat, but people can get there in a short period of time. So that works out real well with them.
And cozy for your biggest draw, Kentucky.
Yeah, sure it is. Well, true. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. But yeah, that would be real easy for North Carolina and Duke to get there without any problem whatsoever. But so no, I'm with you on that one. It needs to go back to what is more ACC country, as they would say.
Brent, brackets out on Sunday. Alabama will be firmly on a bracket, just a matter of what seed and where and the opponents and the road, the path for them to advance. Does Nate Oates need to advance?
No, he is. Look, they're on the verge. If they can get the money of building a new arena, and they badly want to keep him because they really have been impressed with what that he has done. But I will say this. It's not going to be that big of a deal in the SEC tournament, but they need to get in the NCAA tournament. And I mean, they've been with what they've done. They've done okay, but they really need to. I think a Sweet 16 would validate what they have done.
I agree.
If they go less than that, that would be somewhat of a disappointment. I mean, look, frankly, when they lost their big center to the NBA, and he hadn't busted a grape up there at all, that left them without a rim protector, and they need a point guard too. And I don't know if they get past Florida, frankly, on Friday night, but that would help them a lot. I think Rylan Griffin's going to be back. That certainly helped them. Wrights are coming back, help them. But the tournament's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be very wide open. Yeah. Frankly, I'm really. This sounds silly almost, but I'm really proud of the SEC with what they've done for basketball. I mean, Brett and I remember when we were sweating out getting what, Brett, 3 teams, maybe.
Yeah, but we also remember the heyday too.
Oh yeah, well I agree, and a lot of that was Wimp and Sonny time around the
and Nolan and Rick Pitino time.
90s. Oh yeah, and Pitino
and Dale Brown.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So and they had a lull after that, and they really picked it up, which is really exciting to see. And you could make the argument right now that along with the Big 12 that they are easily one either number 1 or number 2 conference in the nation.
Well, the SEC, they haven't had a national champion since 2012 when Kentucky with Anthony Davis won it in New Orleans. The Big Ten hadn't had a national championship since 2000 with Michigan State and Izzo winning it. And the Pac-12, and this is it for the Pac-12, they haven't won it since 97 with Mike Bibby, Miles Simon, and Lute Olson in Arizona winning it.
Well, that's amazing, too. With how that's gone. I'm just wondering, is this the year with Connect that Tennessee gets over that bump, that they have had trouble? They've been able to get there on their defense, but they just have not had a scoring force like they've got in Connect. And could this be it? I see Kentucky really playing well. South Carolina have had a amazing year with probably the coach of the year. Mm-hmm. I mean, Auburn's as deep as anybody right now. Broome is such a force in the middle, and the team closest to us. The Gators have got great depth, a great inside-outside game. And Golden has done some really nice things with that. Yeah. But with a lot of that said, I still say Beard at Ole Miss is going to be a force to be reckoned with over the next few years.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, it's going to be a really fun week. Both those conferences, the ACC and the SEC, with SEC kicked off tomorrow night with a pair of games, so it'll be a lot of fun. Well, Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Good. Thank you, guys, as always. Take care.
Thank you, Brent. I always appreciate it and enjoy it, and a lot of basketball ahead for all of us to watch. And at All-Star Chevrolet, it's March Madness. It's Chevy truck season. All the Silverados you want are right there at All-Star. First exit as you enter into Mississippi on Highway 78. That's Kraft Goodman Road. And you're there at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Get any new Silverado you want with financing down to 0.9 for the Silverados. Your good credit deserves it. For Trailblazers, Equinox, 1.9 financing. No payments for 90 days. Family loves these new Suburbans, so we all can do more together. Where are we going to be going for Easter, for spring break, maybe for these NCAA tournament games? And better yet, what are you going to be driving? You need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet. Military, teachers, first responders, healthcare workers, college students. Instant extra $500 bonus back. You want pre-owned? Everything you want's right there at All-Star. All the Jeeps, the Ram trucks, the Yukon Denali, a Traverse. And if it's not there, ask Jeff or Kevin, and they'll find it for you. And Kevin and Jeff and everyone at All-Star, they want me to wish everybody out there a happy springtime, happy Easter season, and enjoy all the basketball. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Go to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to a break, and when we come back, we talked a lot about the SEC tournament, which will get kicked off tomorrow night, but we made our picks earlier for the AAC. Now it's time to pick the SEC. We're picking the SEC tournament next on Sportstime.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe. There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
The thrill and excitement of March Mania is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets with any college basketball bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code is HERD, H-E-R-D. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook, and only with the code HERD, H-E-R-D. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/bball for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We gossip $289 a month. Both $34.99 due at signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Ford RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 76.40, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49.99.63, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Looks better coming out of Midtown now. We had that earlier crash on 55 there at 240 as that traffic starts to crank up now. Out here on 240 East up by Walnut Grove. 40 East also on the increase over here at White Station as that continues to build on I-40, continuing all the way out into Fayette County. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. We've got to break down this bracket for the SEC. We did the American earlier. Two of the three of us had Memphis winning it all. The other one is an idiot, if I had to say. But, we'll see what happens. Now we got to pick the SEC. Brett, where do you want to start? Who do you want to start?
I want Johnny to go first, but before Johnny does that, I want to make one point. We were talking to Brent Beard about Coach Saban and him talking about how much things have changed. And I want to say this with all due respect. He earned every cent. Brian, I always said I thought they got him cheap for what he brought to enrollment, buildings, everything there. But it comes off to a lot of people to hear a coach talk about how things have changed and the sport's now awash with money when we've seen this in college coaching. And again, earned by the guys that get it. You've got a private airplane like most people have a car.
Yep.
You've got country clubs, plural.
Yep.
You've got hunting clubs. You've got vacation spots, all earned.
Yep.
You made that, but you can't lament for in one sentence, the sport's all about money, and in the next, over that 50 years that he earned working his tail off and succeeding and getting it, earning it.
Yeah.
But when he first started, probably as a GA for Don James, making $7,500.
Yeah, something like that.
So, I just think that comes off a little off-putting to a lot of people.
Sure.
And the blowback and the criticism has been strong.
It's been very strong. It's been very strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if it continued, honestly.
If he continues down this path,
True.
the criticism, and he's not working, and shouldn't, he's not working for nothing next year for ESPN.
No.
And he shouldn't.
No.
And he shouldn't. They got the money, and he's got the cachet.
Yeah.
So that's a good marriage. Sure. But, then I just don't think you can be, it's just too much money around here. There's gambling in Casablanca, heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid. No, but I'm excited about him on ESPN. I think
I
he's
am
really
too.
good. Yeah.
I am too, but I want him as college football's Mr. Fix-It, not everything's bad now that I'm not in it.
Right.
Johnny, you go first.
I see what you're saying on that aspect when he act like that. But when looking at the bracket on the first round on Wednesday, I got Arkansas beating Vanderbilt. Then I got Georgia beating Missouri. Then on that Thursday, I got LSU beating Mississippi State. Then I got South Carolina beating Arkansas. Then I got Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss losing to Texas A&M. And then looking forward, the next game I got Florida beating Georgia. Then I got Tennessee beating LSU. I got South Carolina beating Auburn. I got Kentucky beating Texas A&M. I got Alabama beating Florida. Then I got Tennessee on that Saturday. I got Tennessee beating South Carolina. Then I got Kentucky beating Alabama. Then in the championship game, I got Kentucky beating Tennessee.
I like it.
Very good. And they will have the crowd in Nashville,
Sure
Brian.
will. All right. Tomorrow night, I've got Vanderbilt beating Arkansas, an unfortunate way for Arkansas to end their season, but Vanderbilt lives for another day. The late game tomorrow night, I have Georgia beating Missouri in the 11-14 game. Thursday morning, I've got Mississippi State beating LSU in the 8-9. I have South Carolina beating Vanderbilt and putting an end to Vanderbilt's season. I've got Texas A&M putting an end to Chris Beard's first season at Ole Miss as Texas A&M, the 7 seed, would advance to Friday. And I've got the first big upset of the weekend. I have Georgia beating Florida in that second round game. So Florida, a lot of questions being asked.
You know what that
them.
game is, though, don't you?
What game is that?
Cocktail party on the hardwoods in Nashville.
You're right. Oh, man. What a better place to have a cocktail party than in Nashville.
Whole Broadway.
That's a great point. Great point by you. I think Georgia, they get hot shooting the ball. I think they can beat Florida. I think Florida might, start looking ahead to that game potentially.
Mike White beating his old team.
That's right. And then you've got Florida, that idea Florida looking ahead to the big one against Alabama on Friday. I think Georgia pulls the upset. So going to Friday, I've got Tennessee beating Mississippi State in the first game of the day. I have Auburn beating South Carolina. I have Kentucky beating Texas A&M, and I have Alabama beating Georgia. So I have all the top 4 seeds advancing to the semifinals, where I have 4th-seeded Auburn upsetting Tennessee and beating them to advance to the championship game. I have Kentucky beating Alabama, and I have Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers hoisting the trophy in Nashville, winning the SEC title.
That will be some Saturday. That's the Saturday I think they won't, don't you?
Yes. No,
it's pretty chalky, but that would be, Bruce Pearl facing Tennessee, and then John Calipari there, the Bama fans that can day trip. That's a good Saturday, the way you see it. I've got Arkansas avenging 2 weeks ago tonight by defeating Vanderbilt in the rematch. In late game tomorrow night, I have Georgia beating Missouri. Then to Thursday, Mississippi State over LSU. State has to put in some work in Nashville. They looked pretty comfortably in a few weeks ago, not as much now. South Carolina defeats Arkansas. Then Thursday night, Texas A&M beats Ole Miss 2 out of 3 times this year, and Florida beats Georgia. On Friday, first game of the day, Tennessee beats State. Auburn beats South Carolina, Kentucky over A&M, all chalk for me, Bama over Florida. Chalk continues into the weekend. Tennessee over Auburn, but then not chalk. Bama upsets Kentucky, and then Tennessee over Alabama on the famed third Sunday in March.
Love it. That would be a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, I think you can say it about the SEC. I think you can say it about the Big 12. I think you could probably also say it about the Big East. I think whichever way it shapes up, it's going to be an unbelievable championship game in all of those conferences.
And for a lot of these teams in Nashville, not as much in Fort Worth, the if it goes chalk, Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, Bama, how distressed would the defeated team really be?
I don't think very much. I mean,
not much at all.
I think those teams have separated themselves from the pack. I mean, I think when you look at the SEC this year, the conversation all year has been, who's the better team, Tennessee or Kentucky or Auburn? It has not been, Mississippi State having a good year this year, or don't look now, but A&M is back. I think they've really separated themselves. So I don't think there's any shame in losing to one of those top 4 seeds.
I do think Kentucky is peaking better than anybody else.
Oh, absolutely. I think what Kentucky has done, I mean, they've clearly shown that they have the offensive firepower to really go up against anybody. The question there is defense.
Stops.
And, I think you make a good point in having that upset against Alabama, because how does this Kentucky team play in those, 3 games in 3 days is what it would be if they made it to the championship game.
I know with all their fans there, and Kentucky's all about championships,
Sure.
but I don't think that would bother them that much, because they're going to throw the offensive shoe, pardon the pun, especially in a thoroughbred horse racing state, they're going to have that less than great offensive game.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it Sunday than I would in 2 weeks.
Sure. No, absolutely. And so I think for a lot of these teams, I mean, they are, as much as, conference championships are important, they are looking forward to the big dance. And that's really when it's go for it time. And so, I would not be surprised if, say Saturday in the semifinal game against Alabama comes out hot and is knocking down threes and on the other side, Kentucky can't stop anything and the shots aren't falling. I could see that happening, and I don't think it would be too many overreactions because both those teams comfortably in, and I think you can kind of turn back around and say, okay, not our best effort, but just wait till next week, first, second round, and we're going for Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, Final Fours in Lexington. I think they've got the talent to do it. They just need the defensive stops.
Pretty good comeback for Cincinnati to come back and win that game at the Big 12 tournament. Cincinnati comes back and defeats West Virginia 90-85. That was the second game of the day at the Big 12. The earlier UCF won 77-62.
Yeah, no, a big win for Cincinnati, and I think they've got something there. I think in a couple of years we could look up and Cincinnati's right in the mix in the Big 12. I think this year they've had some points where they've looked really good, had some points where they've looked really bad, and one of those points was down 10 earlier in that game against West Virginia, but they come back. One of their guards, I think, knocked down 7 3-pointers in the game and knocked down some really big ones late to come back and win that. So a good win for Cincinnati, but they've got to turn around and face Kansas tomorrow, which will not be easy.
And I mentioned with Brent on the ACC tournament, the future sites, much more Tobacco Road, much more North Carolina, all North Carolina centric, really through 2029, 2030. But who will be the members of that conference to go to that tournament in those out years? Because it feels like the Power Two, the Big Ten, the SEC, especially for football, and I know they would want to do everything for basketball. They will go it alone in football, and if they have to, very much like that tournament that next year that's going to be cash on the barrelhead. You come to this tournament, you win. They split it up in your collective. Now, as I understand that tournament, the proceeds will go to the entire collective, not just to men's basketball.
Oh, interesting.
Is that right? Am I understanding that correct?
I'm not sure. I have not seen that, but I have not done a ton of digging on it. So
I was told I was told that it does have to kind of go to a general fund, and then divvied up as they see fit.
Interesting.
Even among the players, so that could be starter. You get
interesting.
You get 25,000. Ninth man. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you came to the event.
I hope you had fun. Wow, interesting.
Fun was had ball.
That would kind of make sense, but that would be kind of surprising.
And then, tennis player, hey, where's mine? Well, you don't get any.
Right. Interesting. I don't know. Well, and another thing, you talk about the ACC tournament and going to a more central location. It's about to get weird in the ACC because you're going to have Stanford having to go across, Cal having to go across, SMU having to go all the way over there. So we're about to get to the point with these conference tournaments where there is no such thing as a central location.
Speaking of weird, last night on Twitter, it was a Georgia Tech, Letterman's Club site.
Okay.
And in the 1920s, Georgia Tech goes to a Rose Bowl, and they played the California Golden Bears. Okay. Well, as a parting gift, the Cal student body saw fit to give to Georgia Tech a cub, a baby bear.
Oh.
They take it back to campus, and one of the players on the team, he raised it, showed him walking around a pretty full-size bear on campus.
Wow.
I'm thinking, what are we doing here?
Wow.
What could go wrong here with a bear mauling some people?
Hey,
The replies were unbelievable. I'll try to find that site and send it to you.
Please.
I think you could go to Twitter and hit search, Georgia Tech and a bear.
I'm sure. I'm sure you search Georgia Tech and a bear, and not much comes up.
But he showed the guy sitting on the steps of the library with this bear.
That's hilarious. That's great. I love that. Nothing more I would want to hear. That I don't even know
See if you can find it during the break.
I'm going to have to. But let's go ahead so I can try to find that. Let's get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs, like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7 2476.40, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49.9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Best finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Memphis. Get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7 p.m. for Hoops for St. Jude night. Don't miss a night full of hoops, heart, and heroism presented by Gossett Motor Cars. Get ready for a star-studded show by securing your tickets at Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I did find the bear very interesting.
Thank you. So for my own sanity, I didn't make it up.
No, you did not make it up. Cal.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know, but Cal decided that they would give, or one of the fans or boosters or something decided it'd be a good idea to give a bear cub to any team that could beat Cal, and that became Georgia Tech. And this final score, 8-7. In that Rose Bowl.
8-7 game.
In 1929.
I'm going to say it went under, don't you think?
I would assume so. I saw a video during the break that was talking about supposedly during this game, Cal had the ball, fumbled it, and Cal's center picked the ball up and got turned around somehow, started running towards the end zone, but was running towards Georgia Tech's end zone instead of Cal's.
Wrong way wrinkle.
That's right. And then got tackled at the 1 yard line. They had to set up for a punt.
Famous.
It got blocked for a safety, leading to that 8-7 victory. Love that.
How's that, Coach Saban, for things changing?
I mean, a lot has changed since an 8-7 Rose Bowl, I would have to say.
8-7 game where a guy ran the wrong way and the winning team got a bear and walked around on campus with it.
I love that. Not almost as much. I love that almost as much as I love my big number, which is 244. It's a big number, Johnny, in terms of especially.
It is. It's a big weird number.
It's a big weird number.
That's a big weird number, Johnny.
244. Today's date is March 12th, 2024. One of my all-time favorite memories in terms of conference college basketball games happened on this date, March 12th, 2009. It was a Big East Conference game between Syracuse and UConn, a game that went to 6 overtimes where Syracuse finally won after a 3.5-hour game, 127-117 in Madison Square Garden. So that total for that game was 244. That's the total points scored in that game. 6 overtimes. That is the longest, by far longest, Big East Conference tournament
and that
game.
was like a Tuesday night game, wasn't it?
It was. I wish I had the exact date. I could pull up a calendar and find it. But yeah, no, I remember it, and I was, way supposed to be asleep, and was not. Was watching that game and just blew my mind.
Me too. My mother was in Little Rock in the hospital. She had viral encephalitis, and I was over there with her. And like the nurse came in like at 8:30 or 9. You can keep the TV on, but you got to turn the, it's got to be on mute.
Right.
And then came in like at 1:30 in the morning. Is that game still on? Is that a replay? I said, no, it's the same one.
It's still on. Yeah. It looks like it was a Thursday night game. March 12th, 2009.
Late night.
Certainly late night. Ended about, I think it said about 12:30, 12:45 or so.
It was late.
Yeah, it was very late. Way past my bedtime as an 8-year-old, about to turn 9. But
that was
a good game,
that was some win.
One that will stick with me forever. A 6 overtime thriller between Syracuse and UConn.
I mentioned that I think Mississippi State's got some work to do in Nashville, and that's why my big number is this. It's 13. Mississippi State's been to 12 NCAA tournaments. They're trying to get to their 13th. And Chris Jans trying to go to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. State's 11 and 12 all-time in the tournament. And if Chris Jans accomplishes that, he will be the first Mississippi State coach to go to NCAA tournaments in both of his first 2 years there, in each of the first 2 years. So they've got a lot to play for. Will just one win do it for them, beating LSU? Will that do it?
I think so. I think beating LSU and then
certainly if they beat Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely. But I think not getting humiliated by Tennessee would certainly help. But I do think you keep it respectable against Tennessee after a win against LSU. I think you feel pretty comfortable going into Selection Sunday.
Did you notice the bracketology breakdown today of Joe Lenard? It was really good. And it has win and in several teams, then out without this win. And then win here, then win again. The Memphis Tigers, are out without this win, either against the winner of Rice or Wichita State.
Sure.
For Mississippi State, win and in, Joe Lunardi says beat LSU and they're in. Work's done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you feel pretty comfortable with that win against LSU. It's not going to be easy against LSU, though. I mean, LSU has shown at times during this conference slate that they can go out and give you a really competitive game and even beat you. So it's not going to be easy on Thursday for them.
Did you see in the history of bad beats? I don't know what the point. I don't know how much LSU was laying. They're up 21 with 3 minutes to play.
Oof. No, I didn't see this.
I think laying 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
Won by 3.
Wow.
Up 21 with 3 minutes to
cow.
play.
I saw one earlier today from a game last night. I can't remember what game it was last night. The East Tennessee and Samford game. Congratulations to Samford for advancing to the NCAA tournament. The total was at 146.5, and they were at, they were at 141. Total's 146.5. They were at 141 and then went on to miss 8 free throws in the final 44 seconds of the game to go under.
But, one person's bad beat, somebody else's great win.
One bad beat is another person's treasure, Brett. You are absolutely right.
It really is.
You're absolutely right.
It's not always L.
That's right. So for some people that are calling it a bad beat, there's somebody out there going, let's go. I can't believe it got there. That's crazy.
No, there's somebody going, I nailed that pick, didn't I?
I knew it. I told y'all that was going to happen.
It was a lock.
And everyone's
what'd you not like about
it? They missed 8 free throws. That should have never happened.
It was total luck you won it.
Yes. Congratulations, though, I guess. But no, a lot of really good action later tonight, and then tomorrow is really when things get heated up, and we'll see a lot of these top teams going at it in some of these tournaments. But we need to get to a break, wrap up our second hour, and when we come back, we're switching gears. We're talking all things NFL next with Bo Marchant.
Hello, Memphians. Wake up each and every Tuesday morning weekly to Cup Club Early Morning Show. Cup Club Early Morning Show each and every Tuesday morning weekly 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. right here on AM 56. Hosted by former Arkansas State Red Wolves Hall of Fame fullback Ricky Jemison. Enjoy special guest interviews, top sports local, nationally, and Monsters Game Pro Football League updates. Cup Club Early Morning Show right here on AM 56.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works